So let's have a look at the Bitcoin clock. So I texted this out the other day, and I like finding stuff which slightly contradicts your beliefs or opinions, and I think looking at this clock, it does contradict my stance a bit. So I thought I'd annotate it. So starting over to the left, okay, so this is where we are roughly, and this is rough because a whole revolution around here from 12 till 12 is 4 years, so each quarter is a year, etc. So this is where we are, roughly. Yeah. Now in this sector, in the run up to the halvings, this is where you have sort of gradual growth, which obviously this radial is in a logarithmic setting, as you can see, so 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, etc. So there's gentle growth up here, nothing too exciting. And then everyone, you know, in the run up to the halving, everyone gets excited, it's a halving, and nearly every time, I think pretty much every time other than when Bitcoin first launched, it's like a massive anticlimax. Bitcoin doesn't really do much post-halving until about 6 months after. So the halving is the 17th of April 2024. And that's also the date where a lot of people are expecting that spot ETFs are going to be approved by the SEC in the US. Now, you know, when that happens, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a bit of a dump, but we'll see. But the real fun and games, according to this clock, are basically from 1:30 till 4:30. So from real timings, that's September 25th to September 26, as in 2026. So it's a year of growth really there, and midway is about April 2026, and roughly previous all-time highs have been around the 430 level, roughly, which is interesting. So this bit alone here sort of contradicts my personal stance, and then we get mean reversion from 430 till 730. So and yeah, that's how really to talk about this. Now personally, I don't like radials. It's hard to understand for the human eye because we just don't look at charts and stuff in terms of radials. So the easy one to look at, I think, is just the Bitstamp Bitcoin chart. So on the logarithmic setting, log on the weekly, and I've kept this annotation pretty similar. So I personally think this is an easier way to look at stuff. Each one of these vertical lines is a halving. So the next halving is April. We can actually draw in the next halving. I should have done that beforehand. 17th of April 2024. Oh no, I've already done it. It's here. Sorry. Ignore me. It is there. So where have I put that? April, yeah, roughly 22nd, yeah. Let's move it back a bit. Yeah, there, right. It's a weekly chart, so I can't get it exactly. So, yeah, I personally think this logarithmic chart is a lot easier to understand and maybe somewhat a bit more accurate because every 4, yeah, so we're looking for 4 years basically. So for the next one, so if we add in, where's my time date thing gone? Sorry, I've lost one of my thingies. Sorry, I'm looking for the time date. Ah, it's all the way down here. Sorry. Yeah. So if we move 4 years, so what is 52 times 4, 208 we're looking for, so 208. So if I just copy this, or that, yeah, so we're looking, so that's the next halving, and then we normally have sort of a low around here. So actually when looking at it this way, maybe the clock is a bit more accurate maybe I've put in the high a bit too early, quite possibly, because we're, wait, what is this? So 53, so 79 to 80-ish bars. Oh, actually, I don't know. So I've put roughly 80, yeah. So if we're looking about 90 weeks after the halving, which is a little bit extended compared to the previous ones, we're looking at the high where that green blob is. And then we have, you know, the year of falling, and it's normally a year, pretty much. It's that bit's pretty standard here. So if we were to add in something similar to this, God knows where this is going to, you know, fall from, but that gives us a low roughly February 2027, so the end of 2026, which is interesting because end of 2026 is where we should technically have the all-time high. So I'm more inclined to believe the logarithmic chart in this sense than that radial. But yeah, again, always look for things that contradict yourself, and this was one, which is why I really sort of did a little digging into it. But yeah, and then obviously we've got like a year of roughly a year, as in the yellow zone, a year of consolidation. So if I control copy that and then move that, God knows, yeah, something like that. So I'm still sticking with the end of 2025. I'm going to be taking profits regardless of the price, regardless if I think it's going to go higher. I'm not going to make that mistake. I put too much weight onto on-chain analytics in the last cycle because every on-chain thing was shouting and screaming 100k, and I can't prove it obviously, but I still, just from trading experience, I've got a squirrel sense that it wasn't allowed to go to 100. I do feel there was a overt manipulation that didn't let natural price go, and maybe, you know, big whales trying to front run everyone like me thinking 100k. So maybe I did get a bit too caught up in that, but either way, I'm not making the same mistake again. End of 2025, I'm taking a big chunk of profits off the table. So that's my long story short. I haven't really wavered. Now whether that's at 100k or 400k, I don't know. I don't really care. Bitcoin is my barometer. God knows what I'll be in by then, whether it's CAS or ETH or whatever. I don't know. And I guess this is another learning point. You shouldn't become entrenched in your bags. Don't become entrenched in your existing portfolio. Always be ready to pivot. I'd like to think I've got Bitcoin and Ethereum, especially if there's, you know, it's likely that we have spot Ethereum ETFs next year. So it's worth having Ethereum.